Hi, you're listening to The Success Coach. Many of our youth are simply growing in the wrong direction. Well, there's good news. You've come to the right place. We've started a new show, The Youth Indeed Show. The Youth Indeed Show is about encouraging and inspiring our youth through transition. The Youth Indeed Show is a place where parents, educators, employers, and organizations that serve youth can come together to share ideas and offer suggestions that encourage and inspire our youth. The Youth Indeed Show, because it's about our youth.
Remember, your words are powerful, so spend them wisely.
Hi, this is Whitney. If your organization is suffering from low morale, also known as the blues, the perfect pick-me-up is The Success Coach, a dynamic keynote speaker who will motivate, inspire, and encourage your organization to peak performance. For booking information and inquiries, please contact The Success Coach at cbc2u.com. Again, that is The Success Coach at cbc2u.com.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to The Success Coach. My name is Curtis Brooks. I'll be your host here today. Today we start out a brand new show. It's called The Youth Indeed Show. So let's talk, share, and encourage each other. We hope that you enjoy. Here on our show, we have a different topic, and that is not necessarily so different, but different in regards to, I'm just going to really be frank with you on today. Our show is called Stake Your Claim Today. How are you going to stake your claim today? And so, as we can remember, or some of us can remember, I wasn't born during that time, but we can remember how settlers had to stake their claim, and how sometimes there were boundaries that they had to put up to make sure that no one stole their land, and how they stole land as well, and a lot went on. And staking your claim, a lot of lives were lost, and it is definitely unfortunate. But in staking your claim, it is no easy task. So that's what we're talking about here on today in just a few moments. And as some of you have known, or may have known for a little while, I have been incognito, not necessarily MIA, but I've been actually working on Google Hangouts, doing a video cast there, and Spreaker has actually made a lot of changes, and I'm definitely excited about them, so I'm sure that you are as well. But with that being said, we've got a great show for you on today, and it definitely has been a while. I'm glad to be back. I really am, and with a new job and transition and all of those things that go with starting a new job, the move, and all those things that are part of just change. They are sometimes they can take their toll on you, but nevertheless, I'm still here and glad that you're here as well. On today, we, as I mentioned, have a brand new show. It's called Stake Your Claim Today. How do you stake your claim? What is your process in staking your claim? You can find out more about who we are and what we are about on Google Hangout. We have a channel dedicated to our show that is the Youth Indeed Show. And if you have any questions or any content you'd like to maybe discuss at some later date, well, in fact, before we can get into all that, we're actually going to be doing Skype calls. So I'll tell you more about that later on in the broadcast here, how you can get in contact with us here on Spreaker. At some point, we will have Skype set up here on Spreaker to do live calls as well. So, and I don't know if you've recently gotten the memo from Skype. They are actually doing away with the fee that we were charging for the group calls. So perhaps you are interested in doing a group call on Skype. Not necessarily with me. It'd be great if you could, but if you are working on your own podcast, you might want to think about that they are, in fact, have did away with the charge. So actually, group calls are free through Skype. So, and also, Skype is coming up with a new platform for Skype. It's called Skype TX. So this is definitely not a news show, and I know that I'm probably pretty late on that. So that's why I don't do news shows. So this is definitely not a news show here on the Youth Indeed Show. This show is more about the content that's going to help keep us alive, help keep our family and our relationships alive, and keep us as fathers in the right relationship, the right frame of mind with our youth, and even as mothers. I know I'm not a mom, I'm a father, and I enjoy being a father, but nevertheless, if you are a parent, this show is going to give you the necessary tools, the know-how, and just kind of put things in a different perspective. And rest assured that if you're not together and you're having your tough times and challenges, that sometimes rolls off or rubs off into our own children. It spills off into the lives of our children and everything that we touch. So be mindful that, again, how we see things, how we perceive things, or the perspective in which, or the glasses or the pair of glasses that we're looking out of. It's important that we have the right perspective as parents, because if we have the wrong perspective, rest assured that those individual perspectives, however different or unique they may be, they sometimes have a tendency to roll off in the lives of our children, and they too are affected by sometimes the wrong perspective. So again, let's cheer up and know that you're going to make it. You're going to make it. So once again, if you want to get in contact with us, and I don't think I mentioned this before, but if you want to get in contact with us here on the Youth Indeed Show, you can contact us through our email. That's going to be the youthindeedshow@gmail.com. Almost forgot. And actually through my demo here earlier, right before the show started, and that was my niece Whitney, and there have been a few changes here. So the email address that was given out originally is no longer a good email. The email that I just given you will be the proper email. So that again is the youthindeedshow@gmail.com. Altogether, the youthindeedshow@gmail.com. Once more, my name is Curtis Brooks, and I am also called the Success Coach. And we've started a brand new show. It's called the Youth Indeed Show. So let's talk, share, and encourage each other. That's exactly what we're going to do on our show. And that's what our intentions are. If you have any questions about the content that we're covering, or you'd like to share a suggestion, feel free to, again, contact us at the youthindeedshow@gmail.com. Or if you have some things that we could do differently, again, keep it light so that we can all learn from it. We're not here to ridicule anyone. We're not here to damage anyone, but to learn and grow from what we have to offer here, or offer here on the show, or what you might have to offer, because rest assured, I'm learning as well. So none of us know it all. So here on the Youth Indeed Show, again, we have a great show for you. It's called Stake Your Claim. How do you stake your claim? Stake your claim today with a huge exclamation mark. Stake your claim today. How about it? Well, before we get started, we're going to have some background music. I think you're going to enjoy it, and actually it's befitting. It's definitely fitting for the moment that I'm in, or the mood that I'm in. So I think that some great content is going to come out of this. So bear with us as we get on with our show. And we've got some, again, great music for you. Let me see if we can find it here. There we go. All right. I'm going to loop it here so it'll play in the background. So again, don't get distracted. Stay focused, and we'll bring the content that you're looking for. Once again, we've got the Bob Marley playing in the background, and it's definitely fitting of the mood that I am in on today. And it's been kind of a just melancholy mood, and perhaps you're there, and if not, it's okay, because rest assured, as we are doing this life, and it's the best that we can do it, you will in fact go through those melancholy moods or whatever the case might be, and not necessarily know where to go, which end to start from. So it happens to the best of us, and don't feel ashamed, don't feel alarmed, and don't think that there's anything wrong. In fact, it's required, and know that it is important for us to share those moments, those down times, and where the phone isn't ringing, where the no email, or you haven't heard from anyone at all today. So it happens, and So again, it is a good thing sometimes, because sometimes in our schedule, we need to just back off. We need to relax. We need to make sure that we know, in fact, what's going on. And by that, I mean that sometimes we have to be available. And I think ideally sometimes we feel like we want to just get away or have that place to escape. And rest assured, it's nice sometimes, but it's also nice to know what's going on. So today we're going to come back. We're going to bring things back in focus and help you make sure that you can stake your claim on today. Once again, in staking your claim today, you're going to need desire. And I know a lot of us have heard this before. It's kind of cliche-ish, and we've heard it before over and over again. But today, we're going to give it some more content. We're going to put some more meat on the bone, if you will, so that we can have something to eat, if you will. And one of the things I think that as I have listened to other motivational speakers, as I have listened to pastors, or just a host of different individuals who have the aptitude to be able to motivate, great messages, great sermons. But these are things that really you have to remember. You have to remember it. And I think the biggest thing in staking your claim today and our podcast today is that you have to have a relationship with what you're staking your claim. With whatever you're taking hold of, you must have a relationship. You must have some kind of kinship with it, some kind of kinsmanship or whatever the case might be. But you must have a relationship with it. It must be something of value to you. It must be important to you. It must be something where you have made up your mind that I'm not taking no for an answer. How about that? How about that? You're not taking no for an answer. So what is it like when you made your mind up that you're not taking no for an answer? Well, that's when you begin to stake your claim on today. So when you've made up your mind and you've got that desire, that roaring engine in the back that says, you know what, I'm ready. You just tell me when. You just tell me how. I'm ready. And that's when you're ready to take hold of your claim, to stake your claim today. And that's, in fact, what we're talking about. How do you stake your claim? How do you take hold of your dream? I'll be very honest with you, very open with you. There is no secret to this. It really isn't. There is absolutely no secret to any of this. The secret is that you have to be fueled. Again, that's not a secret, but it's, I want to say common sense, but the old saying is that common sense is not necessarily afforded to everyone, though it's available, but not necessarily afforded to everyone. We sometimes don't pay attention to it, but let's pay attention to the obvious. Let's bring this desire, that dream that we have, let's bring it in close. Let's make it make sense. Because in reality, it's impossible to take hold of something which you have no ownership of. Perhaps you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I wasn't. And even if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, the object of this podcast is that you will need to take ownership of what you're trying to take hold of. You need to make it yours. In order to make it yours, you have to have desire. The desire needs to be self-encompassing, if you will. And it's kind of like putting a lid on a steam pot or a crock pot, if you will. I can remember as a kid, my mother or my grandmother would make beans. I loved beans as a kid, and I still love them as an adult. And the steam would cook the beans. The heat cooks the beans as well. The water eventually gets hot, and it gets hot, and it just cooks the beans, but it's something about the steam. It's something about enclosing that environment, or enclosing that pot that was cooking the beans, or enclosing the environment that you're in, if you will, your thoughts, and again, making those thoughts your own. All self-encompassing thoughts. Putting those thoughts in the crock pot of your mind, in your heart, and closing the lid on them, and finding something that's going to fuel you. I mean, hear me out. You will need not only the desire, those things are important, but you're going to have to fuel that desire. And it's nice to hear mom or dad say, hey kid, you can do it. Man, you're going to be awesome at this. But sometimes mom or dad are not always there. Your friends are not always there. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, the husband, the wife, the kids, they're not always there. And so, just as right now you hear the music playing in the background, the music doesn't always play in the background. Sometimes there's not always that motivating source behind the scenes pushing us along the way. And you have to turn it around, if you will. You have to decide to make the music motivate. You have to hold on to something that's going to keep you motivated. And this is awesome because motivation is something that you will have to take hold of. Each of us are going to have our different levels of motivation. We're going to have the different music that motivates us, such as my choice of music today is Bob Marley, as it plays in the background, soothing, relaxing. But you will have to have your own music. Your music at different times of your life may not necessarily be so soothing. It may be more aggressive. It may be more punk rock or rock, whatever the case might be. Could be disco, could be anything. But nevertheless, you find your own source of motivation. And that's what you and I will have to do through the course of life. We will have to find our own source of motivation. Because what you're motivated by, I'm not necessarily motivated by. Or encouraged, all the same. So, and being motivated is something, it's going to have to be something that you choose. It's going to have to be your selection. And so many things that motivate us. And I'm not talking about to the negative. I'm obviously talking about the positive. Because there are things that can motivate us in the opposite direction. On the other end of the spectrum. And there are things, obviously, as we're talking right now, they can motivate us on the other end of the spectrum. Which causes us to rise. And as the motivation causes us to rise, we naturally want to take things and people with us. And here on today, we are talking about staking your claim today. Stake your claim today. And in staking your claim today, sometimes you'll have to go by yourself. You may not have an entourage of people who are willing to stand behind you. And sometimes it doesn't mean that they're not willing, but the time isn't now. So in staking your claim on today, you might have to go by yourself. And I want you to be encouraged because this is part of the process. This is all part of the process. We will go through times and days and weeks where we don't see the end from the beginning. The beginning from the end. Either way it works. And sometimes it's just not in sight. But on today, we are talking about changing your course. Changing how we see things. And really just giving ourselves permission to be in a place, because they're all important. The place, sometimes we're in the wrong place. And we want to deem it as not being important. And when we're in the right place, we automatically know that it's important. You're in the right place. And you're in the right place on today. This message is not to damper or to be a downer, Debbie Downer, or a Donald the Downer, whatever the case might be. But this message is to inspire you and to know that even today you can stake your claim. But you're going to need desire. You're going to need, your wheel will have to be turning. The wheel of life, your own desire, needs to be encouraged. And how do we get that encouragement? As I said earlier, you're going to have to grab hold of your own song. Your song might be rock, could be disco, it could be country music, it could be any sort of music, any genre of music. But make it your own. Bring it into your heart. Bring it into a place where you begin to take ownership of it and begin to set sail. And as you begin to set sail, you've got your desire intact. You've got your song playing in the background. And now you need an uncompromising motivation. You need a motivation that burns like passion. Maybe we can call this passion. Let's do that. You need a passion. Because though desire and passion may seem they're one and the same, in fact, they are different. Because you can have desire, but it doesn't always mean that you have the passion. Passion, I think, is something, or I believe is something that's just innate. We develop it over time through relationship. And as you build a relationship with things and in people, we begin to get attached to it. And that attachment is sometimes uncompromising. Meaning that I will not allow you or anyone else to come in between where I'm going, what I'm thinking. And sometimes it's like prying teeth to get us to change our mind. And so the uncompromising attitude or mindset that's needed to stake your claim on today, it's important. But understand that sometimes as we begin to prepare ourselves to stake our claim on today, we have to get rid of some things that we can't take with us. And as I was preparing for the show, I came across the thought how the settlers and over years had staked their claim. They had to take a stand on something. In most cases, that was land. Land has always been and always will be a hot commodity. So, in staking their claim, there was all kinds of things that had happened. And taking land from the Indians and Indians taking it back. And a lot of people lost their lives. And it was unfortunate. But here on our show, I'm not giving you a history lesson, but just want you to recognize the uncompromising attitude, the uncompromising mindset that was needed and that was important and that is necessary in order to stake your claim on today. And I'm going to keep driving that point home because it's so important to understand that your view, your perspective must be uncompromising. It must be met with desire. those two must line up. Again, I mentioned passion. And someone say, desire and passion are the same. No, they're not the same. And any of us can desire something. But passion is something on the inside that can't be taken from you. And that in the event that there's an issue where there's a difference of opinion, sometimes we listen to and talk to other people about different things, and we find it hard to not accept or someone else's opinion because we're standing fast on our view. And so passion is something like that. And again, not necessarily in a stubborn way, because even passion has room for compassion, where you can make room for a different view. So with that being said, passion and desire are in fact two different things. But you will need desire. You'll need desire to begin the process of staking your claim on today. You'll need an uncompromising mindset. That uncompromising mindset has to say, or has to believe that, you know what? This is mine. This is what I want. This is the color I want. This is the size I want. And it has to have this. It has to have that. It must look like this. And you don't change your mind. And there's always someone that comes along that says, well, what about this? A person with an uncompromised mindset may consider to appease, but all in all, when your mind's made up onto where you're going and what you want in life, you must have uncompromising attitude and uncompromising mindset. You must have desire, and you must have the passion that comes with it. And again, passion and desire are two different things. Desire doesn't always last, but passion never goes away. And the interesting thing about passion is because when we have passion, and sometimes it might seem that our passion for whatever it might be has hit a low place. But passion is interesting because the moment you hear or see something that's remotely close to what you have been desiring, along with that uncompromising mindset, passion, it raises its head up so quickly, and it's so energized by the views, the ideas, the mindset, by what it sees. So passion is in fact never dead. It never dies. It may hit a low place, but it never dies. So with that being said, our next point is encouragement. How do you encourage yourself in the midst of all of this? Well, you know what, we're going to leave encouragement and we're going to come back, because we're actually coming up on our 30-minute mark. I had a great time doing this show here on today. Again, you're listening to The Success Coach. My name is Curtis Brooks. I've been your host for nearly 30 minutes or so. We've got a Bob Marley playing in the background, and it's so soothing. Hope that you've had a great time listening to the content that we've shared here with you on today. And we're talking about staking your claim today. How are you going to stake your claim today? Desire and an uncompromising mindset brings the right attitude and brings definitely the right perspective. Please check us out on Google Hangout. You'll find us there. Our email address, if any questions or things that you want to share, will be theyouthinddeedshow@gmail.com. So we'll talk with you later.